What's going on, my fellow Jedi and Padawans, and welcome back to another Jedi gaming video. Thank you guys so much for coming back to the channel, and if you guys are new, welcome. It is currently 2:12 in the morning on the 23rd, after which Queen spent all day grinding out content, unlocking the artifact, going through the legendary campaign on my warlock, getting that all done, just getting all of that content ready for you guys so I can edit. I'm staying up all night tonight doing some videos for tomorrow. About to be content city for you guys, and I just can't thank you enough for coming back and supporting me. Means so much to me, more than you know, and it just keeps me going. All of the crazy views, all of the comments, all of the subscriptions just absolutely blow my mind. So thank you guys so much. Truly means a lot. I love helping you guys, love putting out those guides, anything to help a fellow guardian out. Really was what I'm here for, and we have so much to go over in the next week, 2 weeks here. Content overload. So to start out with the content, I do want to go over how we're unlocking our new artifact, the Synaptic Spear. This thing has some pretty sweet mods that we've had in the past, some new ones, and we have the option to actually unlock all 25 mods this season instead of only 12 like we had in the past. Super cool, super interesting. We have a lot to cover, so let's get into it. We're going to go over how to unlock the artifact first, which is pretty linear in all seriousness, just like it says. You have to go through that first introductory mission, the Arrival, which is super long in all seriousness, going through on the legendary version. You can definitely go through on the classic version and probably blow through it a little faster, but definitely just take your time, enjoy the content, enjoy the work that Bungie put into the throne world. It is truly amazing. The Hive Guardians that are light bearers are super fun to fight. Everything about it, the story, the artwork, the cutscenes, the introductory mission, just take it all in. The story is so good this season so far. Cannot wait to see where it goes. But after you complete that initial Rivals mission, you unlock the Enclave and Mars, where we can go talk to Ikora. We can talk to actually the relic that we're using for crafting, and we have an evidence board that we're going to be using there as well for some exotic quests and then other things like that via new gear and loot. So like I said, after you complete the Arrivals and unlock the Enclave, you head to Ikora Rey and talk to her. She gives you her little spiel on helping them defeat the new foe, Savathun, and if you are willing to accept that or not. When you go through and accept it from her and continue the quest, she gives you the artifact, the Synaptic Spear. Now this artifact is super sweet to me this season. We have a lot of classic mods that we've had before, some new ones that we've never seen, and then some sleepers that I think are going to be absolutely banging with what we can do with Void and those different builds that we're going to be able to do. The brain is going off the rails. There's so much going on in there for builds. I cannot wait to put out videos on those. So now that we've talked about how to obtain our artifact, I want to go over the mods that are on it, which is cool this season. Like I said, we can unlock all 25 if we have enough XP. Just like our power bonus, the more XP we get, the more unlocked mods that we have. Right now, I got 11 just from turning in bounties and then going through that legendary campaign. So we're already just a little shy of halfway there after the first day. So in the first column right here, we got some nice returning ones and some new ones. So we have Anti-Barrier Scout, which I'm going to be slapping, and then Piercing Bow, just because we got some new scouts, and then Exotic Bows are all over the place with Monarch, Trinity Ghouls, Tikus. Definitely going to be using those for our anti-barriers. Next right here, kind of a cool little combination. Instead of having them as auto rifle and SMG, we just have them combined for our overload rounds, which is actually our only way to stun it besides a grenade down the line, which I'm going to talk about later. Me personally, I'm going to be passing up this one, Unstoppable Hand Cannon, just because I think pulse rifles and the glaive weapon will be more viable in the end game. I know we got some God Roll, Time Lost, Fate Bringers and stuff like that for Unstoppable, but me personally going to be using pulses over that, which is why I have it unlocked down here. We got some cool ones that have some different burns in the energy slot as well as some kinetic ones, so I'm going with the Unstoppable Pulse. In our second slot, I am starting off with the rocket launcher scav right here. Been using Galahorn a lot, and we got some new rockets that have those original traits on them. So instead of spending 5 energy to have scavenger on, I only wanted to spend 1 so we can have different mods on to complement the build. Now, me personally, I'm going to be passing up on Psionic Forging 1 just because I'm not too big of a fan of the Psycho Hack original trait or the Suros Synergy original trait. I like Suros better than the Psycho Hack, but definitely not my 2 favorite. If the Suros and the Land Tank were together, definitely would have unlocked it, but I'm going to pass up on this one now. Right here is a sleeper for me. Probably going to be one of my next 3 that I unlock is this melee well maker. Just those elemental wells are super crazy, and with the new Void subclass 3.0 that we got, definitely think that this is going to be key to use. Instead of spending 4 energy, we only have to have 1. Right here, hand cannon targeting for those crispy boys in PvP. Needed it just because I think it is 5 on hand cannon targeting if you don't have this one unlocked. So 1 is much better than 5. In the third column, we have a couple interesting ones again. Right here, Glaive Scav, just because I'm going to be pairing that with Unstoppable Glaive in the next column. The Glaive for me is slightly underwhelming so far, but I don't have the exotics, and my Glaive that I've been using is only at about level 5, I believe. So once I start leveling it up more and get some of those intrinsic perks and getting some of those enhanced perks on it and build it how I want it, I definitely think I will be using it way more, and it'll become way more viable than it is right now. Next right here, this is my next sleeper that I have besides Melee Wellmaker, the Thermo Shock Plating. So this reduces incoming solar and arc damage from combatants, a little twofer for you. So this one's definitely going to be interesting to see how it plays out in endgame and if it is viable for that incoming solar damage and arc damage reduction. Skipping on auto rifle reloader, don't really need it this season, but moving on right here to the Font of Might. I absolutely love this mod, again, for those elemental wells. I am a big fan of elemental wells, and I think, again, with Void 3.0, we're going to be able to use them a lot more common, especially for our Void wells. And then it says right here, so if you pick up those elemental wells that match your subclass type, it grants temporary bonus of weapon damage matching that type. So if you create Void Wells, pick them up, your Void weapons will do more damage. If you create Arc Wells and pick them up with this on, your Arc weapons will do more damage. So this is super nice for those well builds. Next, this one right here is definitely an interesting one that I think everybody should be grabbing, just because for me, I love the Land Tank perk, that original trait on some of these weapons. It is so cool to me, so I'm grabbing this one. Not really a super big fan of the Hake, like I said. If it was Land Tank and then Suros combined instead of the combination that they have here, definitely would have picked it up. So as you can see right here, Land Tank final blows with this weapon grant increased resilience and additional damage resistance from combatants. So it basically says right there in the title, you become a walking tank with the weapon when you're getting final blows. Definitely interesting to have it on a heavy like I have here. So I definitely want to increase that duration, get that end game resistance for damage, a higher resilience. Super cool little original trait for me. Gonna be gunning for these mostly, especially for that end game. Definitely that's why I was grabbing that mod. Next up in the fourth column, we got some good ones here. Gonna go with that Unstoppable Glaive. Just like I said, I think it's gonna be super nice for those Unstoppables once you upgrade your Glaive and have those exotics. This right here is another sleeper for me. Probably my 3 sleepers that I have are this Lucent, Thermal Shock Plating, and then Wellmaker. So right here, your Lucent finisher, defeating a Lucent Hive, Lightbearer, or champion with your finisher spawns heavy ammo for you and your allies. That's a super key one. You and your allies, not just your allies like some of the other things we have with like Aeons and stuff like that. Right here, definitely interested in this one as well. Don't know when I will pick it up, but damaging combatants with your glaive suppresses them. This is interesting just because it's another form of suppression which we can have, mixing that with other void artifacts and fragments, and then also some mods that we have in the third column might be able to make some crazy glaive builds. Next, right here, definitely a key for me for those overload champions is going to be Void Grenades. Just because Void 3.0, we have a lot of changes, going to be able to throw on any of the grenade forms, no matter what character you're on. So suppressor grenades on a warlock, something like that, they become overload grenades with this mod, and we can pair it with something in the next column that really just makes it perfect. I personally am going to skip Infernal Whip just because I don't want to get up close and personal with Unstoppables. Plus we have our Pulse and our Glaive to combat for that. Finally, right here in our last column, I have 3 that you guys should pick up for sure, no matter what should be your first 3 in that last column. Right here, we got Suppression Mastery. So suppression effects created have an increased duration. Like I was saying, compare that even with this Glaive one, but we have so many options now with suppressing enemies via our Void subclass that I think this one is going to be super key to have that increased duration, especially on some of those Hive light bearers. Next for me, I really want this one, Volatile Flow. Picking up a Void Elemental Well grants your Void weapons volatile rounds. So when you have those Void Elemental Wells everywhere, you pick them up and then your Void weapons have Void Explosion rounds, creating volatility on those enemies, which just means more Void Explosions, more Void Synergy, more builds. Oh, I cannot wait to get this and just see what we can do with it. Definitely pick this up. Last but not least, our girl right here, Suppressive Darkness, coming back. When you suppress a combatant, you also weaken them, causing them to take additional damage for a short time. This is going to be, again, super nice. We have suppression in so many different facets this season that we can use our glaive, we can use subclasses, we can use grenades. There is so many options that I think that this is going to be super crazy. Instead of like we had before with Garden of Salvation when that first came out, you had to be a bubble titan using suppressive grenades to get this thing to proc. Now we have a plethora of options. So that's it for this video. That's kind of what I'm going for in my artifact to start. As you can see right now, definitely my next 3 I'm going to unlock to get this last column. I'm going to go Lucent Finisher, this Thermo Shock Plating, and then also my Well Maker just because I love my Elemental Wells. Then once I get the final column unlocked, I'm going with Suppressive Darkness, Volatile Flow, and then Suppression Mastery. After that, it's kind of a personal preference, just kind of pick and choose, because I think the XP is going to be definitely a grind to unlock all 25, but super going for it this season so I can have all the options in the world. But thank you guys again so much for watching. I hope this helped you guys out. Pick and choose which artifact mods you want to unlock first, and then some potential builds that we will have down the line that I will be making with some of those locked mods that I will get as soon as I possibly can. So thank you guys again so much for watching. Truly appreciate it. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.